Mohamed Alabar, Dubai seems to be the Las Vegas of the Middle East. A tourism giant, the GDP growth is, I think, 20% it was last year, and huge projects including the Palm, including the biggest airport, including whatever is bigger and faster than everywhere else, and no income tax, we have to say. So it sounds too good to be true. It's an enormous success story that you have there, or is it just a big bubble?
Dubai, probably New York in the making. Dubai is a city that serves, I would say, 250 million people in the Middle East. Just remember, in the Middle East, if we are 250 million people, we don't have a service hub. The US has New York to serve the US, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Washington, plus Miami. While if you look at the Middle East, we don't really have a true commercial capital. So Dubai is that city in the making. It's moving with a lot of speed. We almost compete with Shanghai when it comes to speed of execution. I'm not saying that with the speed of execution we're doing everything 100% right. We're probably doing everything 85% right. But we have a younger population in this region. They need hope of creating a city that plays part of the global scene. And so we've got different, what we've created clusters. So we've got technology clusters, media clusters, tourism cluster. So we've created different clusters that made the city really moves up so quick in all these different sectors.
But a lot of critics say it's built on sand. You know, it's really, the danger is there that this is a big bubble that can burst anytime.
For the past 15 years, people are talking to us about the bubble. And you know, the joke that goes around now that this bubble gets so big and it's up, everybody's trying to chase the bubble and catch it if they can. But you know, why are we in the Middle East when we succeed? People keep telling us it's a bubble. You know, we criticize the Middle East for not moving at all. So now we are moving, there's progress on the ground. It's at least young 15-year-old progress. And the great thing is that, and I'll tell you why it's not a bubble, because everybody's trying to copy it, which is great. The people in Oman trying to copy it, the people in Qatar trying to copy it, Lebanon, Jordan, Kuwait, and that's great news. So it's a good example to follow and get some energy and positiveness that we can do it.
Did you need Dubai, Sheikh Ayesha, to get these ideas?
Excuse me?
Did you need Dubai to get these ideas?
Yes, a challenge, yes, why not?
Why?
I think Dubai with Sheikh Mohammed, I think he's done some incredible things. And while Kuwait used to be the forerunner, and for a time I think we took ourselves for granted that we needed like some Dubai to push us back. I mean, with Dubai, it's like a challenge for Kuwait today. Increase in hotels, I mean, even new buildings, new malls coming up, giving also for the investors in Kuwait, opening up for new investors.
Economic liberalization
yes.
as well.
Yes,
Part of that.
And I mean, opening the visas, now the Kuwait is accepting expatriate living in the Gulf to enter Kuwait. So it's really, I mean, Dubai has been like a challenge to all the other Gulf states to catch up with it, which is good.
The idea that Dubai is a bubble is based on the idea of rapidly rising oil prices. But what makes it not a bubble is that it's becoming a service-based economy, and that's what the world is becoming.
And we don't have oil.
We
have 150
exactly
barrels.
But I mean, oil in the region, it's a service-based economy, and that's what makes it very real.
You have the need to change.
That's right.
Before you have the need to change in Saudi Arabia.
And the customers that go to Dubai are global customers. They are not really from the GCC countries. So it's not dependent on the population of the GCC. My only concern, which maybe Mohammed can answer this question, is they never had any incident of terrorism. What would that do to these global customers?
Are you afraid of that?
You know, life is challenge. All of us, we have a challenge. Egypt has a challenge. We in Dubai have a challenge. But do we look at the fear and we say we stop breathing? No. We move. We know it's a challenge.
But behind,
we have to be alert.
If I have understood it in the right way, behind that is a question of jealousy, is a question of moving faster than others, of looking around, looking over the continents, looking over to Africa, looking over to poorer countries. And are you feeling you have to be a little bit careful?
I think Dubai is the opposite of jealousy. The region needs hope. I think Dubai is a true island of hope, that yes, it can be done. Yes, we can be part of the civilized world. But at the same time, Dubai have to do its homework, have to have a good systems and processes to make sure that the place is safe and secure.
But let me ask you, Congressman, I mean, Dubai really lives the American way. It lives a very Western way. But there were a lot of Western politicians in the United States that said perhaps they are living a too Western way and stopped them at the borders of investments. You know, I'm speaking about Dubai ports.
The Dubai ports.
Were you in favor of blocking the deal?
I was not. You're talking to the wrong person if you want to get the
No,
idea.
I don't.
If you
I
want
just
to find
wanna-
out from
no.
why Congress did that, because I was one of 35 that voted against the resolution to block it. I thought
Okay.
from the moment it came up, I thought it was a totally bogus issue.
Can you
It was,
understand these security reasons?
It's
that
not
were-
security. It's all about politics. There is security concerns that it's 9/11 that's driving the thing and the fears that are in the United States. We're seeing this in our immigration debate today with what's happening on our southern border and the fears that people have. It's that's driving it, but it certainly wasn't based on anything that was very rational. I've never heard so many irresponsible things said on the floor of the House of Representatives or in Congress as during that debate. And unfortunately, that reflects very badly on the United States. It begins to make us look like a banana republic. If we have rules, we have regulations about how we're going to, how a country invests in the United States, and then we simply say, oh, throw those out and ignore those. You can't do that. You have to have some certainty.
Yeah.
Business has to be able to have some certainty.
There were
People have
racist
to-
aspects even in that, you know.
There certainly
There are a
were.
lot of voices out of the
There certainly were
Arab
racist
community that
aspects.
said, okay, international money is fine in the United States, but Arab money certainly is not.
I don't think it was
So-
primarily that. I really don't. But I think it was. I think it's a fear that a lot of people have of just of globalization in general. A couple of years ago, when this issue came up with regard to Costco,
Yeah.
the Chinese
Chinese,
company investing and owning the management of the Long Beach and some of the other ports, this issue came up then. It wasn't as virulent as it was in this one, but I got hundreds of emails from constituents saying, you know, why are we allowing Chinese to own our ports there? You know, people have just a misunderstanding. And of course, in the United States, the talk TV and talk radio just really feeds that kind of thing.
What's left? Is that a feeling of double standard of you know, Arab money and international money? What was your feeling about this? Let me ask our guests here about this this blockade of the Dubai port deal.
Well, of course, I mean, there is a big issue at the moment in terms of, you know, what developed countries are taking as positions vis-a-vis globalization and trade. I mean, this was a very, very clear case that, you know, the United States, a country that everybody was looking up to in terms of, you know, opening up and so on, looked internally and said, no, we don't want this. We want just to close our doors and we don't want to accept this investment. This is exactly of the opposite of what we are trying to do in the Middle East. I mean, what we are trying to do in the Middle East, a region that for many, many years we have been looking inwards, and now we are trying to open up and look upwards, outwards. And, you know, Dubai is a case, you know. I mean, you mentioned Dubai. Dubai for us is a very important symbol. I mean, Dubai today, I mean, we want more of this Dubai because we feel that Dubai not just, you know, show an example of how we can open up to the world, but it's also creating something very important for us, a symbol of regionalization. We want more of Dubai. Now, I mean, I can tell you, 5-6 years ago, you would not have had this number of business people in the Middle East talking about regional businesses. No way. Today, we are looking regional, we are looking global. And here, you know, an issue like the United States, you know, blocking a deal is coming at a very wrong time for us. This is exactly the time that we are trying to convince our constituents, our people, to open up. And you know, they're giving us a very bad now situation to say, but, you know, look at the United States. How do you want us to open up our infrastructure for investment? How do you want us to open up, you know, to privatize our companies, to privatize our investment, when the United States is, you know, taking such a position? So the timing is
As
really
this
bad.
discussion has been pointing
Yeah.
out, Dubai is doing exactly the kind of thing
Yeah.
that we want a country to do in this region here. It's moving in the direction that we want. So it really was inconsistent that.
The disappointment, no?
We understand, life must go on. We will do business some other days. But, you know, we understand that this is the country that carries the flag of economic freedom, behaving in such way. That's for the world to see. But we want to keep relationship. We want to forget about this and move on and find future ways of doing business. I mean, one have to be positive,
This,
right?
this is a Middle East culture. We will not go in a place where we are not invited. Yeah.
You see?
So the timing was very important. I mean, talking about a deal like that during an election year, I mean, that becomes quite sensational in the United States because of security, because of...
The question is, if you say we're not going where we're not welcome, the question is, where will you be welcome? Where will you be going instead of the United States? Because the United States needs a lot of foreign investments. And
We
a lot
do,
of,
absolutely. We need
I mean, with
this
the trade deficit
with the trade
on the back,
deficit, we need this foreign
this
investment.
really
We have
bad.
an insatiable appetite for this investment.
We're going to speak about this, but Sheikh Aisa, let me ask first. I mean, when we invited you, and I heard you on a lot of conferences on business women, on media women, and so on, and it's really encouraging how many women you can see on these conferences,
Yes.
and you never expect this. I mean, even you can think that an Arabian businesswoman and being a Kuwaiti princess, this could be a contradiction in terms, you know, for a lot of people. But what would you say, how much is this a sign of modernization for the Arab communities?
Well,
How?
what I have to say is that I could talk about the Kuwaiti women. It's not something new for them to be in business. Let's say if you go back in history, the Kuwaiti men were seafarers and they were pearl divers. So they used to be away either by the years because they were traveling to India, and either they were going pearl diving. So the wife or the mother used to run the business while her husband or her father was away, or the brother. So it's in our culture that this. So then we opened up and we found that other Arab women had businesses. We found that the Tunisian was much ahead of us, and we had to do a lot to catch up with her. She was already in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and they already had Association of Businesswomen. That when we created the Council for the Arab Businesswomen, we had to create also Association of Businesswomen in each of the Arab other countries. And we created the council. And today the council is there for the last 7 years. It's been accepted internationally. We have done strategic partners, and
But if we look, for example, at Saudi Arabia, Mr. Amadi, it's a difficult situation for a lot of women there. And to get on in business, to get on in official works, and to climb up, the ladder. Why
We
is
have
it
many
still
ladies
so-
that are very successful in their field of business.
A strong female force on the move.
the movement, the woman
and,
has entered the Chamber of Commerce in Jeddah.
we're taking a closer look at that and at the question of trade. Stay with us.